Welcome to Zoey's DIY vlog. Hello, I'm Zoey. Today I will use the objects here to DIY a new comfortable pillow by myself. So let's start this. Firstly, my DIY idea comes from my grandma. My grandma used to be a dressmaker, and in my memory, she sewed many things for us with this old sewing machine. However, she passed away last year, and I always want to search for some special ways to commemorate her by myself. Luckily, her wardrobe gave me inspirations. When I opened it, I found that all these clothes are idle for a long time, but they can still make me remind my grandma. So I think maybe I can use these old clothes as my main materials to DIY something and in memory of her. Finally, I choose to use them to DIY a pillow, so I started to select suitable old clothes as my materials. Now, everything is ready and let's start our DIY. Firstly, I laid out the certain clothes that need to be made into pillowcases on the table, and then laid the old pillowcase on top and used a pen to locate the approximate size, which will facilitate subsequent cutting. Next, use a ruler and a pen to gently draw a straight line connecting the positioning point we just made. And the remaining three edges are also operated in the same way. So now we have obtained a prototype of a pillowcase that can be cut. The next step I mainly need to use is scissors. Based on the prototype of the square just drawn, cut it completely along the traces of the pen. And because the clothes themselves have a certain amount of elasticity, it is important to ensure that the fabric is flat when cutting. After this, we finally had a pillowcase fabric made of old clothes. And then I need to prepare for the next step of sewing work. First, flip the fabric over. By observing the old pillowcase, there is a distance between the stitching line and the edge of the fabric, which is to prevent the use of exposed threads that are not aesthetically pleasing. So I also measured this distance to determine where the suture should be located. After obtaining specific data, use a ruler to draw the same 4 stitching lines on the back of our fabric according to the measurement, which can make the later stitching work more convenient. After getting this piece of fabric with stitching line, the preliminary preparation work has also been eventually completed. Because the pillowcase I'm going to make is basically composed of 2 pieces of fabric, so I choose another old garment of my grandma as the material for the other piece of it, to achieve richer visual effects. According to the steps mentioned earlier, use the same method to cut and make another piece of fabric out. Now that both fabrics have been made and our sewing work can finally begin. The first step in sewing is to align 2 pieces of fabric and expose the sewn positioning line drawn on the opposite side before. So in this part, the needle and thread will become the main tool for making. And I choose thinner needles and lighter colored threads to sew because in this way, the connecting parts of the fabrics will not be so prominent, and the finished product will also be much more beautiful. Next, use the method of inserting the needle from the front and exiting it from the back. Repeating this several times and sealing the 2 pieces of fabric together. In this sealing process, the most important thing is to strictly follow the drawn suture line in the previous step every time the needle is passed, so as to make sure that the stitched line is neat and straight enough. After completing this step, we can see the two pieces of fabric already connected together on one side. Next, there is the long but same sewing process of forming this pillowcase. Because one side needs to be left for putting the pillow con in later, only the other three sides need to be sewn together now. After finishing this, I can finally flip these fabrics over and further simply organize them. Now, the production process of a new double-sided pillowcase is already completed. So the remaining step can be much more simple. Just put the prepared pillow con into the newly made pillowcase and adjust it slightly. Also, don't forget to carefully sew the last side with thread. And this is our final closing work in today's DIY process. See, this new pillow DIY with Grandma's old clothes is finally finished. Now it has been placed as a souvenir by my desk to accompany me in my studies, and has become a special way for me to miss my grandma.